drinking Cobra blood. In early 2014, news headlines went wild over some photos of US Marines drinking Cobra blood that went viral on social media. The soldiers featured in the images were among more than 13,000 military members from 7 countries who participated in a jungle survival training exercise in Thailand's Chonburi province. Known as Cobra Gold 2014, the event was attended by soldiers from the United States, Singapore, Indonesia, South Korea, Japan, and Malaysia. In addition to learning how to safely catch and kill venomous cobras during the 11-day program, the participants were encouraged to drink the snake's blood, which is reportedly a local tradition. They also ate the cobra's tails, snacked on bugs and scorpions, and were taught how to kill a chicken by biting its head off. Besides teaching military members how to survive in the middle of the jungle, the course trained participants in amphibious warfare, the evacuation of friendly forces, and delivering humanitarian relief. 9. Playing hot potato with a hand grenade. In 2012, photos and videos of Chinese soldiers playing hot potato with what appeared to be a live hand grenade went viral. Captured in Hong Kong, the footage showed a group of soldiers from the People's Liberation Army standing in a circle and passing the grenade from one to the next until the final soldier threw it into a hole. They then quickly jumped down onto the ground and took cover to protect themselves from the ensuing explosion of C4, which sent a plume of dust and smoke into the air. While the soldiers very clearly used caution during the activity, it's unavoidably scary to think about. And this is reportedly just one of several slightly terrifying exercises that the PLA is known to include in its training. Promotional footage and photos that were filmed in 2014 showed soldiers leaping through rings of fire during their training. In a briefing following the release of the video, a Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman took the opportunity to remind the rest of the world that the PLA is not made up of Boy Scouts with spears. The material was released on the heels of China's announcement of a $131 billion increase in military spending to improve the country's coastal and sea defenses and to invest in improved technology. At the time, regional security analyst Rory Medcalf told the New York Daily News that the bolstering of China's military was bad news for its neighbors, especially Japan. Since then, China's only continued to expand its military, giving rise to growing fears that the country is preparing to assert its dominance outside its boundaries. 8. Taking shots to the chest. To say that Russia's counter-terrorism training isn't for the weak would be an understatement. Those hoping to become agents for the country's Federal Security Service, or FSB, must be willing to take several shots to the chest to prepare them for what might happen in a shootout with terrorists. Of course, the trainees wear body armor, but things can still go wrong when bullets are flying straight in someone's direction. Footage of the exercise that went viral in 2014 showed an agent being shot from just 3 to 4 yards away. In response, the trainees expected to fire a return shot close to the shooter's head without actually striking them. The FSB is the direct successor of the infamous KGB intelligence agency. Until 1995, it served as a training center for KGB graduates who were selected as candidates to serve in the most precarious intelligence-related situations. In addition to being shot, candidates are also required to fire at a variety of targets while facing distractions and other stress factors, including being pushed while firing and having someone empty a clip right near the trainee's head. The trainee is expected to maintain speed and precision. 7. Cold water conditioning. Navy SEALs are known for being some of the toughest soldiers on the planet. The training's nothing short of grueling, and it involves something called cold water conditioning. Also known as surf torture, it's part of a bigger regimen called Basic Underwater Demolition / SEAL, or BUDS training, which is known for being one of the most physically demanding training programs in the world. During surf torture, candidates must lie on their backs in about 6 inches of water with their arms linked, and they must remain that way for however long they're told to do so. The exercise takes place at Silver Strand Beach in San Diego, which is infamous for its chilly nighttime breezes. Instructors monitor participants using hypothermia charts and core temperature scans, while simultaneously pushing their limits. One of the toughest parts of the test comes when trainees are required to exit the water and stand facing the ocean in their wet clothes for however long their instructor tells them to. This is obviously a major physical challenge that pushes the human body to its limits. It's also a test of mental strength and endurance. During another part of cold water conditioning known as drown proofing, participants are required to bob up and down in the water 20 times, float for 5 minutes, and swim between the deep and shallow ends of a pool with their wrists and ankles bound. They also have to retrieve a face mask from the bottom of the pool's deep end. How long do you think you would last? Tell us in the comments and hit subscribe while you're at it. 6. Winter combat training. Every winter, more than 200 military rangers from the South Korean Army's Special Warfare Command, SWC, endure 10 days of brutal combat training in the mountains of Pyeongchang, roughly 112 miles east of Seoul. The training takes place in temperatures as low as -22 degrees Fahrenheit. This ensures that soldiers are ready for live missions in the freezing cold. In addition to having to withstand freezing conditions, soldiers are required to swim in icy water and perform exercises in the snow, often while shirtless, including gymnastics, sprinting, and skiing with rifles. Winter weather training is not unique to Korea. In fact, many countries prepare their militaries for cold climate combat. Soldiers in the Chinese military undergo similar exercises while half-dressed along the country's northern border with Russia in temperatures as low as -4 degrees Fahrenheit. They train with traditional Chinese swords, throw snow and ice-cold water at each other, and run in shin-deep snow. In recent years, the US Marines have stepped up their winter weather training in response to mounting prospects of warfare against Russia, North Korea, and China. The training takes place roughly 8,000 feet above sea level at the Marine Mountain Warfare Training Center in the Sierra Nevada mountains. The soldiers, many of whom have never experienced snow in their lives, participate in mock battles and other training in unforgiving conditions such as chest-deep snow, thin air, blizzards, and this probably goes without saying, below freezing temperatures. 5. Battle Station 21. Stationed in Great Lakes, Illinois, the American missile destroyer USS Thayer has never been deployed, used in combat, or even gone to sea. The 210-foot-long Navy vessel is the staging ground for Battle Stations 21, a live immersive training simulation that prepares soldiers for disasters at sea. 38,000 recruits undergo the 12-hour overnight challenge every year. It's the final portion of the basic training that they must complete to be sailors. During the challenge, engineers simulate a sinking and all the crises that are expected to come along with a real-life disaster. The test exposes its participants to the sights, sounds, and smells that they would experience during a real emergency at sea, including fire, thick smoke, flooding, bursted pipes, alarms, broken and twisted wood and metal, debris, and even a breeze and seagulls. Lifelike mannequins representing injured sailors groan in pain and discomfort as they await rescue from crew members amid the chaos. While saving the mannequins, recruits must continue to respond efficiently to everything else that's going on around them. They're graded based on their responses to these situations. 4. Belarus Special Forces Training. Nicknamed Europe's last true dictatorship, Belarus is a former Soviet state with an infamous reputation for refusing to modernize, especially when it comes to the country's heavily militaristic culture and the shocking exercises that recruits are required to endure in order to become elite Red Beret soldiers. The Belarusian Special Forces training regime entails a brutal series of tests that very few candidates pass. These exercises are designed to push participants' physical and mental abilities to their absolute limits. On average, it takes 5 tries for a trainee to pass the training. Included among the challenges are one-on-one fighting, extreme obstacle courses, withstanding large amounts of smoke, storming a high-rise building, jumping over fire and smoke bombs, and various other feats of strength and agility. These tests are done with little to no safety precautions in place, and the torture isn't necessarily over once the training's done. Red berets are known to mark holidays and other important occasions by jumping into freezing water, holding formation in freezing temperatures, and engaging in numerous other crazy activities like log throwing and placing concrete blocks on recruits' chests and breaking them with sledgehammers. 3. U.S. Marine Corps Scout Sniper School. To achieve the elite title of a U.S. Marine Corps sniper, recruits must do a lot more than prove that they're a skilled shot. Many candidates fail the training, and there are less than 300 active U.S. Marine Corps snipers at any given time. To even be considered for the program, a Marine must demonstrate superior intelligence and decision-making skills, near-perfect physical fitness, expert rifle skills, and a second-nature understanding of complex ballistics principles. The highly demanding 2-month course comes with both classroom and physical training, including daily practice on the firing range, where recruits learn to shoot targets as far as 3,000 feet away. In the words of instructor Sergeant Brandon Chu, Scout snipers are constantly tired, fatigued, dehydrated, probably cold, for sure wet, and always hungry. He also said that recruits who don't consistently perform well starting on day 1 of training won't pass the course. A Scout sniper must be ready for extremely uncomfortable and dangerous situations, such as lying outdoors in the same position for days or hours at a time while observing and/or hiding from the enemy. One major test entails stalking 3,281 feet down a grassy open range without being seen by instructors who are perched nearby with scopes. At the same time, the participant must also elude foot soldiers whose sole task is to find the sniper. A candidate can only fail this test a certain number of times before they wash out of the program. 2. The Road to Heaven. The Road to Heaven is the name for a Taiwanese military exercise that's anything but heavenly. In fact, most of those who travel down it end up needing first aid at some point. It's the final stage of an intensive 9-week amphibious training program for the Taiwanese Marine Corps. Designed to simulate a battle on a rocky or coral-covered coastline, the challenge involves crawling down a 164-foot path of jagged coral wearing only shorts, while stopping 10 times along the way to perform a series of exercises. Candidates must pass the test in order to join the elite frogmen of Taiwan's Amphibious Reconnaissance and Patrol Unit. This make-or-break challenge starts by falling from standing to a plank position. Then participants crawl along the rocky path, traveling on the points of their elbows and knees, and wriggling along with their hands behind their backs. As if the challenge wasn't excruciating enough to begin with, salty waters poured into their open wounds along the way. The most agile candidates complete the course in 15 to 20 minutes. If an instructor is unhappy with a recruit's performance, they have the authority to send the individual back to the beginning and make them perform the entire thing all over again, from start to finish. Soldiers' families cheer them on from the sidelines, often crying as they watch their loved one bleed from their injuries while struggling over the sharp, uneven terrain. Aside from their supporters' encouragement, candidates must rely on sheer determination to make it to the finish line of this torturous test of strength and willpower. 1. The Masak Kumta. In order to become combat soldiers for the Israeli Defense Forces, recruits must complete an overnight trek in the desert called the Masak Kumta or Beret March, lasting anywhere from 20 to 57 miles long. It comes after 4 months of basic training and 4 to 12 months of advanced training. Before completing the Masak Kumta, recruits complete a preparation march called the Machin Masak Kumta. During the Masak Kumta, participants silently walk side by side in 2 single-file lines, traveling at a brisk pace of somewhere between 3.7 and 6.7 miles per hour. The trek includes walking up multiple steep inclines while donning full battle gear, including the soldier's weapon, vest, water packs, stretchers, and more. The rain or shine event often happens in extremely uncomfortable weather, including heavy downpours and scorching heat. After completing the march, the participants attend a ceremony where they receive their unit's distinctly colored beret, officially making them IDF soldiers. In addition to being a test of commitment, the Masak Kumta measures a soldier's readiness for battle. The philosophy behind the march is that combat can happen in locations and circumstances that require soldiers to travel long distances on foot. So, They need to be prepared for this and other possibilities that warrant a unit of physically fit, highly trained troops who also have what it takes mentally to endure extremely uncomfortable conditions. Thanks for watching. Do you think you could handle this style of training? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.